So lesson 17, guys. I'm just going to do a quick, it's like a midweek roundup. Wednesday, it's 6:20 p.m. Okay? So, let's have a look at what the market has done thus far this week. Alright, so I've got my markings on with GJ over here. I'll start with GJ. So, we have various areas, okay? So we ran up from A to B. We knocked our head on the previous area of resistance taken from the body over here. I've also mapped out the high of the wick there, okay, for reference. And what's happened this week is that we've more or less consolidated from the low into the high taken from this body over here. Price has broken out and it's ran through, and it's more or less done a manipulation move, clear manipulation move. It's tapped into the high right here, and then the next candle has brought it back. So I've taken this body, brought that body across, and this is a 4-hour liquidity region. Now price has broken down, we retested back into that area right there, as you can see, and then the price has broke down, okay, in just the last few hours. Taking this over to the lower time frame, let's start with the 15-minute. What I've done, I've been tracking GJ. What happened over here is we had the US session high, okay, and then the next session over here, Asia, we tested the high, then broke through the high. On the London overlap, we ran back into the Asia high as support, as you can see. And then the breakout that we can spot, okay, the false move, which tapped into the previous wick high there. This is the evidence, the evidential price action and the market movement. So the price ran through this area in the US session, tapped into the high, but you can see the wicks 1, 2, and 3. Market then pulled back, okay, into US, boom, and then in Asia. Asia made the low over here. So what we can do, we can actually map on that low here together, right there. On the Asia Open, we ran back up, and what did we test? Oh, sorry, on London Open, what did we test? We tested the Asia high, just here, once, okay, and then earlier on, we tested the lower boundary of it right there, with the bearish engulfing that brought the price all the way back down. Now this test, evidently, if we zoom in on the 4-hourly, you can see this here. So the price breaks back below, retest back to the upside, and then look what happens, volume, boom, back to the downside. What's also important here to recognize is that this candlestick, this shooting star, where the momentum first and foremost started, the next candle retested right into the region, and then the price, as you can see, started to tank. 12 p.m. we got the Asia Open, but what's important over here to understand is that this candle is now broken through and closed below this structure. So we were running through the consolidation area, we ran up to the highs, massive stop run, and you can imagine people who've seen this in the US session, how many people will be trapped here long. What it's also done is, look at this high, see the spike that's rushed through it to the upside? Stop hunt from people who've gone short off the back end of maybe this candle, and so on and so forth. So the cycle, as you can see, we're clearly mapping this cycle out. So we remove that area for now. And this zone, what I can do, I can just bring that across, because that's this area right here. And you can see as that was broken. And this lower boundary on the 4-hour, I've simply copied and pasted that onto the right-hand side. So what I'm expecting now on GJ, if you look at the daily time frame, looking at that day, look at this huge bearish engulfing formation. So on the closure of Asia, what we could maybe do, pull up a little bit and then boom, slam. Let's look at the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, as you can see here, the high was made, it retested. Little shooting star there as well. That's an opportunity in itself to short, stop above. And then massive shooting star. You can see there on the 30-minute where we broke the structure, retested it, and now we're just more or less waiting for, I believe Asia will dump this into the lows. So as a target area and target projection, simply put, we can see that we have this huge liquidity area down here. So the market is likely to be magnetized into that zone. So we can maybe say 139.10 into 139.35. This is the target area for this trade. Okay, even here on the 4 hourly, if you really wanted to, after this bearish engulfing brings the price back down below confluence 1, confluence 2, and then the third confluence, which is the range, the box. That was a short setup there. The stops would be 3 to 5 pips above the high right here. But again, you can go in and this is the macro, remember, and then we can micro manage the price action and the trade. So that's looking pretty good right now. I wasn't really expecting this blowout. However, as soon as this bullish engulfing occurred, because what I can see is that, let's study this price action correctly. This low was made in London, yeah? So that's why I brought this small band across, this intraday band right here. So that price dump is more or less this. Why did it react and why did it dump so hard? Easily we can spot this because the high it made off this candle here on the London overlap, it came back in US and respected the high 1, 2, 3, and then dumped back in. And where did it respect? The previous London low. And that's why then, okay, there's clear PA right here, spikes into the low, boom, momentum comes back up. It tests that high once more, okay, right here, and then it breaks through. And what does it do? Perfectly retests it to go higher. Okay, so warning signals here and also here too. That's GJ, guys. Okay, so gold. Looking at gold right now. A little bit of a price dump. Price dump, what we've seen was we had the high from this body here and then we had the short shoulder. So the price was stuck in between. We also have the key level from over here, an older one. But what was important to recognize on gold, okay, was we couldn't break this level. We have multiple wicks spiking through. Then the momentum pushes to the downside, takes out the previous wick. We break the area, okay, and then look at this 4-hour candle. Boom, straight back into liquidity area, taken from quite a while back on the 4-hourly. Wait a second. This, I don't know why that's off. Okay, there we go. But what's also important to realize, guys, is that where the weekly support is, and that's why it's it's extremely important that we place these areas on correctly, which I've showed you. 1480, look at this breach, small breach back up, and now we're back into the area. I'm looking for the market to push back beyond and come to the upside. Looking at gold on the daily, if you can imagine how many people would be short at the end of this daily candle, but look what it's respected. Simple pattern. So now this day candle's pushing up, and I expect the rest of the week to maybe go and show us some volume and liquidity to be pumped into the market on the upside. Coming into this simple chart over here on a 15-minute. Okay, so we made the lows over here. This was the initial first low, and then we made the secondary low, spike through. And this was in the US session. Asia's come through, and it's made the high here in Asia. Okay, so what we can do, we can take that high across to see if it correlates with any PA. And we have a correlation over here and a spike back in not too long ago. But then obviously the London session made its low in its high, so it's high, sorry, and then it's low again. But the low has respected just a simple area of intraday support over here. The price has rallied to the upside. It's made its high. So today in the US session, because I said it was, it's currently 6:30, I've just now plotted this area on and brought it across. So we had the breakout. We're getting the retest there as well. So upon this bullish structure, okay, and if you look at the 30-minute too, we've got bullish engulfing on the 30-minute, and look at how clean this is. This is a great buy signal. We've got the buy signal there. We can clearly tell what's going on the higher time frame, the 4-hourly, and we can also spot the manipulation on the to the absolute pip. Okay, to the absolute pip. So my thesis for gold now is it's going to come back up and take out these highs. But ultimately, overall, okay, my gold bias is long because of the higher time frames, the 3-month, the monthly, the weekly, and we can run back into 1550 and maybe even beyond. So very, very simply put, and again, it's all about attention to detail, fine details in the market. But that's what I'm looking at now. Quite straightforward. GBP AUD, beautiful price action recently. So what happened is over here, and now today only recently have I placed this area on because we tested into it, spiked into it. There's also correlation from this spike to what we see over here. Again, I'll get to that in a moment. Now, the highs were formed, okay, so many spikes. The structure was broken here, so we took out the previous low. Then this candle closed below this area, okay, and then we had the price dive down and we tested the 4-hourly boundary just there. Looking at this in further detail, what we see on GA, okay, so all of the spikes at the high, so I'm really tired today. The spikes at the high and then the bearish engulfing taking it down. This is the price action on the intraday. So what we can see is high was formed in London there. The high was formed in London. And then can you see that it's so simple. It's so simple. 1 second, just got a message. Okay, so sorry about that. All right, so what's happened is, over here guys, is the London high was formed. And look at how then the price has dropped to the downside. I've copy and pasted this area from the 4-hourly, but the London low was here. Okay, London high was there. We've tested the 4-hour area to the T and prices pulled back up. And what have America then done? America have pushed price up into the highs. But if we really just try to zoom in here, okay, so we have test. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles and spikes, and then what happens? Price dips. So it respects that area. Now from there onward, okay, price starts to break down. And price in the Asian session, okay, price in the Asian session, sorry, I'm missing a line here. I thought I was missing a line. Sometimes it gets a little bit on top. Okay, so sorry about that. So US session high and then Asia high, sorry. The London high and low was formed as well, right there. But what's also occurred is in Asia, it's broken the structure. And then the Asia low is over here, okay, which could constitute for the low of the week. And I can bring that across because what's happening now on GBP AUD is today, okay, we had this little price momentum to the upside. We didn't break this structure from this low on the 4-hourly. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. We have this spike to the upside, but it's tested perfectly on the shoulder. Okay, so if I go ahead and I copy this and then I paste it over here, as you can now see, we tested that area, but look at today's price action. Asia's high, okay, look what Asia's high has allowed price action to follow in this US session right now. So we've ran up to the high, but look at this. We pulled back down, we've retested that area, and now we're getting a price breakdown. We tested here on this candle, the 4-hour region, but now we've just broken the 4-hour region. So I'm actually short GBP AUD from the closure of this 15-minute candle. My stop is 3 to 5 pips above, and I am going to allow this to run. Why am I just keeping targets open? Because on the bigger picture, we can now, because here we had a test and a new low, this is now forming a lower high in comparison to what is here. And then what we're looking for is price jump into that region. And once it is in that region, we can see what PA is saying. Is it showing the signs of reversal? Will it break it? And so on. So from 8.6 into, let's say, a good 100 pips. But we can really micromanage this trade. And if I then switch over to the 30-minute, look at this 30-minute, 1 30-minute bar, nope, buy. So many people will be trapped here. But again, look, the way I've just broken all of this down, I'm showing you guys the sheer aspects of straight up, what can I call it? Accuracy in a way. And then we're taking data and we're lining up with the intraday, okay? And then we're using the intraday cycles. So the price bumps back down, retests, and look what you can see here. Boom. This candle has taken out the 2 previous wicks, indicating momentum. And 3 hours, 24 minutes. If this candle, okay, is a bearish engulfing, or even better still, breaks this area of structure, then it gives me more confidence to then hold the trade, and it would have to come out and take this low out here. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I'll drop back in on Friday evening, and we can see how this has performed. But again, what we're trying to do here is stay out of trouble, stay away from manipulated moves, and always pay attention to the details. If you look at the day as well, okay, daily, huge spike, but the day is kind of dribbling to the downside, bearish engulfing here off the 4-hourly wick, and the structure is being respected. So I am waiting for, if we look at GJ as well, okay, the pound is actually falling right now. so on and so forth. So yeah, that's a really, really good place in which I executed my short. And I'm hoping that Asia, okay, stop hunt right here, because you can see the previous high where people will be going short, massive stop hunt, hoping now that Asia can drag it down. So the thesis overall is, once you're really experienced with this, and again, it's took me so long to put all of these pieces of the puzzle together, but I've finally locked down the entire mapping system, more or less, of the market. If I want to add another confluence just here, can you see this doji and the body before the liquidity drop? If I really wanted to, I can take the body and I can bring that across. More or less what's happened here is the market has pushed up into the liquidity area, and I'm expecting a move like this once more. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I will check back in on Friday to track these trades. So I'm looking at GJ short, I'm holding this. GA, I entered that, so I'm short both pound pairs at the moment. And gold, I'm looking at the longs. Okay, but I hope that all makes sense, guys. Thank you.